Pro-Hamas protesters brawl with Jew-hating black Hebrew Israelites in Chicago. That's what the headline says. October 30th, 2023. Go down a little bit. Got a picture of a clash. You can listen to the article. In an unusual incident, interesting that they use that term, right? In an unusual incident, there's a violent clash between members of the black Hebrew Israelites and pro-Hamas Palestinians on the streets of Chicago over the weekend. There you got video there from Tyler, showing pro-Palestinian folks marching southbound Michigan Avenue in Chicago, Illinois, dated October 28th. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. To me, once you chant that, you're not just pro-Palestinian, you're pro-Hamas. So this is essentially, you chanting that, you're pro-Hamas. All right. Well, all hell broke loose between some of the Palestinian protesters and the black Israelites. Police and organizers did their best to calm things down to varying degrees of success. So you can see a little bit of it right there embedded into the article. You can see fireworks being thrown. You can see water bottles being thrown. And watch this guy. He's going to throw a water bottle. So it's not like they're just innocent victims. They're also chucking stuff at people. Cops are keeping them separate here. Shout out to new subscribers we got in the house, by the way. So you guys are getting a view of this. We're going to show more of this footage later. The cops are, looks like they're trying to use their bikes sort of as barricades there. You can hear fireworks going off. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear on this audio, but I have video later. I'm going to show you where you are going to be able to hear it. In fact, some of this same clip. So I'm just showing this so you can see it in the beginning there. Doesn't seem like anyone was seriously hurt, which we're glad about. We don't want anyone to get hurt. It's not what we're about. Video footage shared on Twitter depicted pro-Hamas demonstrators using Palestinian flagpoles as weapons during a street protest. The confrontations escalated as the poles broke and protesters resorted to throwing bottles and sticks at each other, while law enforcement struggled to maintain order. There you can see her commentary there, which is, so I shared some of this already on a YouTube short that I did. And I can tell you that the YouTube short quickly became 18 only. I have a feeling this broadcast might become 18 plus only as well. There's nothing graphic here, but it depicts violence. Obviously, I'm not glorifying it. You know, I hope that's obvious. But there are gonna be some offensive things you're gonna see and hear here tonight. And I know it's late, so I know we may not have as many people as we want, but I'm encouraging you guys to hit that like button and to also make sure that you leave a comment underneath the video and that you also are commenting on the live stream and that you've hit that bell, subscribe notifications. Let people know, share this on your social media, because this will be insightful to see. Because what I'm going to show you here is what the Hebrew Israelites said happened here versus what actually happened. So when I first was going to broadcast the show, my understanding at the time was basically that it was essentially, strictly speaking, pro-Hamas mobs attacking Hebrew Israelites. And yeah, I realized they could have been, antagonized them to an extent. But I didn't know to what extent until some deeper digging brought the truth to light, number one. Number two, the way the Hebrew Israelites spun this shows that they lie straight up. They lied about what happened. Now, I've been doing a lot of pro-Israel broadcasts lately, basically. I mean, I nuance it, but ultimately I think it's kind of clear what I'm trying to get people to hear and understand. So obviously I'm not a Hamas supporter. or anything like that. But I was willing to give them the benefit. I was willing to give the Hebrew Israelites the benefit of the doubt. But now that I've seen more footage and stuff that we're going to bring to light here tonight, this WFI group is definitely not faultless as they claim on Clubhouse, and I'm going to show you that too. Although the exact reasons for the confrontation were not definitively confirmed due to the chaotic nature of the incident, because someone's asking who started it first. Well, DJO will tell you the essence of what it appears. And I'm not sure how to pronounce your name there, but it's like this. The Hebrew Israelites claim the Palestinians spat on them. And so the Hebrew Israelites responded with violence, basically, when they were spit upon. So you could take your pick about who started it first in regards to that direct, immediate spark. Spit at, attack. That's what happened. According to the video footage that I've seen, but actually you can't see them spitting, but you can't see the Hebrew Israelites attacking. So maybe that is the reason why. Now, obviously they were attacked back. Seems that the black Hebrew Israelites may have shown up to show support for the Palestinians. So Jewish Voice doesn't really understand what's going on. The Hebrew Israelites were not there to show support for the Palestinians. And I can tell you one thing, the Palestinians may have been very confused when they look at the Hebrew Israelites, and a lot of them have stars of David on them, and they're reading from the Old and New Testament. That's what's going on. However, the pro-Hamas protesters may have mistakenly interpreted the terms Hebrew and Israelites as references to their adversaries. Now, that's all possible, but that's just speculation. We know a little bit more of the truth, which we're going to get to tonight. So here, this is bada boom, bada bing. You see this, you see that. An estimated 5,000 pro-Palestinian demonstrators marched in Chicago's Loop on Saturday, demanding a ceasefire. Yeah, see, if you're demanding a ceasefire, you're only it's only going to benefit one person, as has been eloquently and accurately stated, or one organization rather. You know, I think that's obvious. You know, it's like, why are they demanding a ceasefire? Why not demand that the hostages are returned? See how backwards it is? Anyways, the march was reportedly organized by the Chicago Coalition for Justice in Palestine, a self-described organization aimed at mobilizing those seeking justice in protest of what they perceive as Israel's violence amongst an innocent civilian population. Black Hebrew Israelites are an anti-Jewish hate cult who believe only Africans are real Jews. Obviously, that's not exactly described accurately, but if you watch this program enough, you'll know what the truth is. A better description you could give, I hope. In 2019, 2 black Hebrew Israelites killed 3 Jews at a kosher Jersey City grocery store and have harassed Jewish people for decades. Now, you know, I really wish the reporter would have said how many people told her were killed, because it was more than 3 people. It's 2 that only 3 were Jewish, but you could say killed this amount of people at a kosher deli or something like that. You know, those people's lives mattered too, and they were right there. You know, one of them was a Christian who worked for them there. You know, and that's why he was killed, basically. An estimated 5. Wait, why does this? This isn't good journalism. It literally repeats the same paragraph there, but nonetheless, that's thejewishvoice.com. You have a very similar thing here. They got some pictures in this one. World Time Today's. Get some ideas of the pictures there. And a lot of this is essentially a derived article from the other. Then you also have video and stuff all over. I mean, everyone's got this video footage. Blaze Media. Black Hebrew Israelites and Palestinian supporters clashed during pro-Gaza march in Chicago. Paul Saka, October 29, 2023. Very similar to the articles we read, but here's some new things. You know, look at this. The 2 groups hurled sticks and bottles at each other. He added that one black Hebrew Israelite was injured and taken away in an ambulance. During the confrontation, someone launched fireworks. Now, when you hear the Hebrew Israelites talk about it later, they basically indicate that none of them were injured and they won or something. But one of them got taken away in an ambulance. So I don't know why that's not included. The reporter says, I personally saw one arrest, but more may have happened. There's that. I'm just showing you the different articles because this got out here. Look how this one is titled. Pro-Hamas protesters beat Black Hebrew Israelites with Palestinian flagpoles. Vin News. That's a really wild headline, isn't it? Did you ever think you'd see such a thing as this? Pro-Hamas protesters beat Black Hebrew Israelites with Palestinian flagpoles? I never thought I would see such a headline. You know? Did you? Did you? I did not. Calls it a bizarre incident. Yeah, that's right. Clash violently. Yeah, that's true. No, it does not appear that Israelites were defending Israel. That goes without saying. Yeah. A lot of speculation, a lot of guess, but we're going to show you the facts here today. But that's from Vin News. Messenger News. Black Israelites pro-Palestinian marchers clash in Chicago. Video from Saturday's tension show pro-Palestinians and Black Israelites throwing bottles at each other and physically fighting. That is exactly what you do see. That's exactly true. That's exactly right. Okay, let me just check all this out here. Make sure I got everything how I need it here. Okay, that's all just Chicago stuff. Just some video. Chicago is a beautiful city, by the way. You know, I'm a Midwest boy, ultimately. I live in Phoenix, Arizona now, but I'm a Midwest boy, as you can tell by my Cincy jersey. But Chicago's a beautiful city. I've been there a few times. It's a pretty amazing city, no doubt. I mean, look at it. Come on. Similar reporting here, except a lot of them repeat each other's errors and all that. But, you know, the Chicago cops, they did handle the situation, from what I can see, better than the Chicago cops handled the DNC in 68, those protesters. Some of you will understand what I'm saying. Some of you won't. That's okay. We're just looking at this before we look at our... Thank you, Ham Sunshine, for sharing the verse. You know what? That reminds me of something. While we're doing this broadcast, I do want to share a couple of verses. So if you guys see verses that spring to mind that you think are relevant to this situation, share the reference, maybe part of the line in it, put it in the live chat, put it in quotes, make sure you got the Bible verse reference. I'll look at it, and if it's a good one, I'll grab it, I'll read it on here, and we'll talk about it for a second. So contribute that way if you could. I got a couple of mine, but I'd really like to see what you guys come up with, and I'd appreciate your help in that way. Black Hebrew Israelites brawl in the streets with anti-Israel activists during Chicago protest. So let me show you, if you look, this picture right here. Who are these Hebrew Israelites? Well, I know who they are. These are at least two groups that I know of. It seems like the bulk of the guys are from a camp called WFI. Covered them briefly before. Stands for Watchmen for Israel. Ironic on so many levels. I assume that gentleman thinks he's from Issachar, of course. Now, WFI's on the rise. They're sort of like a younger, more unbridled Sakari. And I know that sounds wild to those of you who are familiar with Sakari and some of their guys in the streets, but that's what we're looking at. They kind of combine some of the worst elements from UPK in their approach to certain things. And they don't seem to be the only group that was out there, though. I know the Chicago group was out there. I think some of the guys came from Indiana as well. But the gentleman in the blue hoodie, that's an AHOS shirt. What's AHOS? That's the Anointed House of Saints. And let me tell you something. I reached out to both AHOS and WFI multiple times on multiple social media, trying to get them to come on when I did this broadcast. Did not receive any real callback, hit back So they had their chance. Maybe one of them will show up and we could bring you on and give your perspective. The Muslim gentleman who's also in one of the clips has been contacted. I don't know what the situation with him is. So we may have guests jump on. We'll find out. So there you go. Oh. Now look at this. We haven't. It says at least one black Israelite is being loaded into an ambulance. But before he was looked at by CFD, he got into a shouting match with some lingering protesters. So here you got a Hebrew Israelite being loaded into an ambulance here, October 28, 2023, here on Twitter. Oh, yeah, they're real upset. Oh, he's yelling at him saying, that's not your land. See, he's shouting out, that's not your land. Oh, you're aggravating. The cop's trying to. I actually haven't seen this video yet until now. I didn't realize this one was here. Yo, shout out to Alton Johnson. Everybody subscribe to him, please. Wow, this is fascinating. Who is this guy? Oh, yeah, he's waiting on an ambulance. So while he's waiting on an ambulance, he gets into a shouting match. Well, I guess it wasn't hurt that bad if he's waiting on an ambulance. But he kept on shouting things like, that's not your land, while he's waiting on an ambulance. Got your priorities straight there, huh? The ongoing demonstrations come after Israel declared war on Hamas terrorists who invaded the country at daybreak on October 7th and brutally slaughtered more than 1,400 Israeli civilian men, women, and children, the most heinous act of terror Israel has had since 1973. That's exactly right, by the way. That was one of the more helpful little articles here. The one on PM, so appreciate that. Daily Signal. Here we got this. Question. Philly Phil 201 says, are the black Israelites defending Israel? Absolutely not. Their most vitriolic statements are against Israel, but when they tell the Palestinian supporters that's not your land, what they're saying by that is, it's our land. So they think it's two groups who are encroachers, basically, fighting over what they think is their land, because they think they're true Israel. So no, they were definitely not supporting them at all. So there's that picture. And you got the same folks there. CBS News video. Oh, look at this. One pro-Palestine protester was caught on video shouting the N-word at black Israelites during the conflict between demonstrators, revealing more of the complexity of historic Middle East issues. Now, I'm sorry, Daily Signal. How does someone shouting the N-word reveal more complexity of the historic Middle East issues? It sounds like it reveals racism on the part of some of these Muslims. That's what it sounds like to me, it reveals. But okay. I'm just saying. So, looking through this. Oh, look. Get a little bit of this in here. Black Israelites are known for their anti-Semitism and teaching adherents that God will make whites slaves and force them into eternal servitude for being spawns of the devil. CNN reported in 2019. Here they quote the ADL. Black Israelites are not Jews, and black Jews are not the same as black Hebrew Israelites, the ADL says in an extensive 2020 backgrounder on its website. We went through that report, if I'm not mistaken. Black Jews and Jews of color are genuine members of the Jewish faith. All right. There we go. There's that. And I think that's all of those. Now, let me look at a couple of your questions. I'm going to show some video here. Just give me a second as we look into this issue. The name says, what do BHIs think Israel... What do the BHIs that think Israel was actually in Africa think of this whole Israel-Palestine thing? That's a good question. I don't know the answer from what little I know regarding that. I don't know the in-depth answer. I'll put it that way. Basically, they think it's kind of unfortunate in a way because it's a big mistake. They're fighting over a land that's not even Israel. But I think because of that, it might bother them less, if that makes sense, because they don't think it's Israelis and Hebrewites fighting over their land because their land's not even there. It's somewhere else. So they're a little less concerned or apathetic about it is what I've seen so far. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Yeah, Phil, you're welcome for the shout out. Ham Sunshine says this is not the Holy Land in Africa. That's a minority position, though. So when I talk about Hebrewites who believe that Israel is in Africa, that's a minority position. It's a small percentage. Now, I have seen the position grow, but it is a small percentage. So heartbreaking to hear the story about the baby in the oven. Oh, yeah. It really, really is. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know if you guys familiar with this? You guys familiar with this? And that's a good point also, what you say there. Some other good comments and questions, but we need to keep it moving. So let's take a look at Abu's video here. Here, you know what? Let me do something here. Let me stop this here. All right. Let's try something here. Just give me a second, guys. I'm trying to get a video for you, but I'm having trouble exporting the file. So I'm going to make some adjustments and see if it'll play for me. Okay. We'll find out. Hopefully it comes through. Okay. Let's take a look at some video. Are you guys ready to take a look at some video? I think the first one we need to watch is actually Abu Kamar's video. He did a great video, and it really gets into this in an in-depth way and explores the background like nothing I've seen. I don't think a lot of people have seen it yet, but we're going to try to change that here tonight as best we can. Can I show you Abu's video? And we're going to stop and then comment on it, okay? We're going to take some time and then comment on this video. And it should be showing up on the screen, but I'm having a little trouble. Don't worry, we'll get to it eventually. There we go. Let me see here. Maybe I could do... Let me see here. Just give me a second. It's going to take a little second, I can tell. Show above overlays. Okay, yeah. So why isn't it showing it? Let me try it this way. I got a couple ways I can bring this video on the screen, I think.
Warning.
Okay,
this video contains imagery and audio
Give me the
which
one
some
if
may
you can
find
hear it,
disturbing
okay?
or distressing, and thus which is not suitable for various settings. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Disclaimer. This video is emphatically not an endorsement of the actions shown here. This is only being shared for educational and informational purposes. Moreover, this video is not copyrighted or monetized. Anyone has my permission to freely download and re-upload my content and commentary. As for material derived from other sources, links are provided in the video description and fall under fair use. Greetings. Last Saturday, October 28th.
Good, everyone can hear this. So again, I have a friend who does incredible research in the area of Hebrew Israelism. The video's a little quiet. I was trying to make it louder, but I'm having trouble exporting the file, so it's not working. I might try one other thing because I can't really improve the video because anyways, no need to explain to it. This is fine. Just got to listen quietly. So he's going to show some great footage, but he's going to show the thing behind the thing. This is the most important video you can watch on this subject. And this is very interesting and very telling. I mean, think about what happened here, okay? So listen up carefully, please. I need your full attention for this
2023. Part. The Yank photo account on Twitter posted a video which seemed to show pro-Palestinian protesters and Hebrew Israelites fighting on the periphery of a march in Chicago. And at one point, it sounded like the Israelites were yelling Kwam Yasharallah, which is a distinctly One West way of pronouncing a Hebrew phrase.
So we knew... from jump, they were One Westers. Now, I saw the AHOS t-shirt. So I knew multiple ways. And I point out in my short that you can't see on my channel. You have to search for it. It's kind of confusing because it's an 18+ video now. They've made it restricted use or access or whatever. But they yell Kwam Yasharallah, which is basically Israel rise or rise Israel in Lashawan Kodash, which is their invented dialect of Hebrew. Here we go.
Which means rise, O Israel. It's actually equivalent to the Arabic Kum Ya Israel. Now, noting that Lashawan Kodash pronunciation, plus the fact that, honestly, the phenomenon of Hebrew Israelites getting into conflicts with people on the street is almost exclusively limited to one Westers, noting those factors, it seemed immediately clear that these were one West Israelites. And for those who don't know what that means, the Hebrew Israelite spectrum is incredibly diverse in terms of both doctrine and demeanor, in terms of how they interact with others. So those that you see behaving belligerently on the streets of major cities are part of a smaller subset within the larger Israelite spectrum, and that subset is known as One West, or it's sometimes colloquially called the camps. And I'll share a playlist of videos which are relevant to that subset in the description. Whatever the case, let's take a look at the video which was posted to Twitter last Saturday, and then let's discuss some of the background to what's seen there. This clip will run for slightly over 1.5 minutes, and fair use.
Real quick, the sounds that you hear, those aren't gunshots, according to the reports. Those are firecrackers, fireworks. Because you can hear, when you listen to this video, you can hear a, and that's what that sound is. Just want to make that clear to everybody. But nonetheless, apparently the pro-Hamas people are throwing fireworks and firecrackers at the Hebrew Israelites. So the Chicago cops are kind of keeping them on separate sides. That's what's going on here. I'm going to rewind that. So this is the part where you hear them saying Kwam Yasharallah and all that. Notice how you don't even necessarily need to know Lashawan Kodash and understand Kwam Yasharallah, or to recognize the AHOS shirt, Anointed House of Saints, that I know is a One West camp. Honestly, you don't even need to know that to almost guarantee money in the bank that the group clashing with these guys out in the streets is some form of a One West faction. Why? Because you guys have a horrible reputation because of the way you comport yourselves in metropolitan areas all across the world every Sabbath, as you call it. That's why. Now, this is where they say Kwam Yasharallah. We're going to kind of zoom in on it. Notice the pro-Hamas guy flipping them off, giving them the finger. You know, this is the way a lot of people who drink the juice of Muhammad, this is a lot how they act as well, especially the younger men. But unfortunately, they don't really have always the greatest examples in these communities where people have imbibed the spirit of Muhammad, you know, with the cursing and the violence. Just read the Hadith. Read about Muhammad and you see. But look how they are being back. These are not two groups striving to be like Christ. The Christ of the Bible isn't. No, it's not. We're going to have to block Cooking with Billy. That comment is so anti-Semitic, it is beyond the pale. You're gone. You guys see Cooking with Billy? I want him out of here. Go ahead and get rid of Cooking with Billy, please. Don't need that at all.
Okay, so having seen that, the immediate question becomes what caused it, right? What's the story behind that unfortunate encounter? Now, one easy guess that one might immediately make.
Fine, you can just time Cooking with Billy out if you want, but no more comments like that. If you don't understand, then just don't comment, please. Thank you.
Is that as one Westers are typically rude to passersby, and with tensions running so high due to the conflict in Palestine, some at that protest might have not been so tolerant, or not as tolerant as they'd usually be, of crude taunts from a group.
I love you, Abu. But Abu says some funny stuff in this video. They might not be as tolerant as they usually would be. Pro-Palestinian supporters marching usually are tolerant? What? They might not be tolerant. I think he likes to understate things, so, you know, it's all good. But he's going to say one other thing in here I'm going to have to say something about. But, they're not as tolerant as they might usually be. Yeah, those pro-Palestinian supporters, they're really known for being tolerant,
That seems like a bunch of closeted proto-Zionists, right? However, it turns out that the backstory is more detailed and more complex than that, and it stretches farther back into history than just last Saturday. It goes back months, maybe well over a year. You see, it turns...
You hear that? You hear that? And that's why Abu's work on this is so important. That goes back maybe into a year. I'm going to show you a video because of Abu's research on this. You're going to find out the Hebrew Israelites have been antagonizing different Muslims in Chicago in pretty intense ways, going back more than a year. And yet, I'm going to play a Clubhouse video where these WFI guys are going to say, we didn't do anything wrong. We just were peacefully reading the Bible, and they started being really mean to us. Honestly. Shout out to Righteous Through Christ for the first and only super chat of the night. I appreciate it very much, my friend. Thank you very much. Keep it up. Yeah, good clarification. Okay, well, anyways, I don't want to get too bogged down in the live chat, but I do love you guys. You guys are good. Shout out to OneBot and Yahweh in the live chat. You're very welcome here. Everyone be very kind to the True World History channel. We don't always agree, but I want you to know that we honestly love you, even if we have different perspectives on things. I'm not just saying that. Here we go.
Now that the specific One West group involved with that in that brawl was called WFI, which stands for Watchmen for Israel. And one of their members tried to explain what happened the next day on Clubhouse.
Clubhouse is an audio app, and this is what it looks like. This is October 29, 2023. The very next day, listen to the description this guy is going to give. Shout out to Faithful to God for doing hard work as well in this. And also Garfield Reed, he did some research. I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot who came before me that have done great research this week. So shout out to them.
So I'm going to show a clip from that Clubhouse discussion in which you'll see me in the comment section trying to get them to clarify. And then one of the members gives his summary, right? And so this excerpt will run for about 6.5 minutes, and I hope you'll forgive the sloppy nature of it. But nonetheless, here we go.
I don't even entertain it, bro.
And
So
it is a
basically
little bit long, so I'm going to
nowadays.
fast forward a little bit here.
I'll make it quick. Long story short, is not nothing deep in that.
So this is a WFI member. So understand, I know it's a lot to keep track of. When I read those articles in the beginning of this program, when I played some of that video in the beginning of this program, that was Hebrew Israelites, but it's a specific group, WFI, Watchmen for Israel. And I saw at least one AHOS hoodie in there, okay? Clashing with pro-Palestinian supporters in downtown Chicago, right? Everyone following so far? That was on October 28, 2023, Chicago, in the Loop. October 29th, 2023, very next day. One of the gentlemen who's in the WFI camp, it's kind of a unity camp, as you're going to find out here. He's going to say what happened. But we got to ask ourselves, is this an accurate description? We're going to find out today if it's accurate. But listen to what he says here.
Group of people that was around out there at the same time as Palestinian protesters, they was posting on Instagram Live and all that stuff saying
That's the guy speaking, by the way. Zion, WFI. See? See that? That's him one talking. So notice where he's from. You guys see his profile? Do I need to make it bigger? Can you guys see? Can you guys see this? You see where he's from? He's from Detroit. See, this WFI camp knew these marches were happening. Now, maybe it's where they usually go out. Maybe it is. Maybe the Loop's usually where WFI is. Okay? But they knew these things were happening and intensifying. Yet they're still going out in that same place. Now, they're going to say they're looking for lost sheep. Someone asked earlier, thought they're supposed to be in the hood getting the truck. Claim is they're looking for sheep. Now, it's an odd place to go fishing. If I was a Hebrew Israelite of a One West variety and I'm at a pro-Palestinian march, that's like fishing for freshwater fish in the ocean. You know what I mean? Why are you fishing for freshwater fish in the ocean, man? That doesn't make sense. That's basically what it would be like they're doing. Or what they're really trying to do is go viral with viral footage. And guess what? That's what they ended up doing. And that's what I think the real motive is. Because look where Zion is from. He's from Detroit, Michigan. He's not from Chicago. Yet they brought everyone together to make a bigger showing. Now, they're going to say it's to protect themselves. Why don't you just go somewhere else, not at a pro-Palestinian march, when you think everyone there is going to be your slave in the future? Because they're Ishmaelites. This is a lot of poppycock, my friends. A lot of balderdash. A lot of BS, a lot of lies. It's going to get worse.
They've been attacking brothers for the past 2 weeks. It's only 9.
So they've been attacking brothers for the past 2 weeks, he says. Now, if that's true, why did you go out there the third week unless you're looking for some action? Because you brought more people with you. That doesn't sound like you're following the dictates of Christ regarding missionary work. Doesn't sound like you're trying to be men of peace. You said they've been antagonists. Okay, let's just go with your story. They've been harassing brothers and all this for the past 2 weeks, and yet you go out to the same spot with more people? Y'all are paper thin, man.
Brothers out there in Chicago, brothers call for unity so they don't think that they can just keep attacking them. So brothers
called for unity so brothers don't think they can just keep attacking them. He's saying, you know, we're being victims here, so we're going to make a stronger show of force this third week because we don't want these pro-Palestinian folks to think they could just keep on coming after us. So we're going to bring guys from Indiana, bring guys from Detroit. Who knows? There might have been some guys from Ohio there. We're going to bring in other camps, AHOS, getting our people together so they can know they can't do that to us. Bruh.
be in more numbers so brothers can be protected, so they can teach the gospel and feel comfortable teaching the gospel. I agree.
Feel comfortable teaching the gospel? If you want to feel comfortable teaching your heresy, why not go where there's not 5,000 pro-Palestinian marchers so you can feel comfortable? Or why not apologize for doing things like throwing Qurans in the middle of the street, if that's what you're worried about? Because guess what? We're going to show them that's what they did. Here we go.
This is gospel or not, right? And they spat at brothers and they threw fireworks at brothers and then they got their ass beat. That's what happened.
If they got their asses beat, why was one of your members having an ambulance come for him? I'm not saying you're not tough or whatever. I'm just saying, like, why are you being a spin doctor right now? You should work for the Biden White House and stand at the podium and take that one gal's job, because this is pure spin.
Then it would last like 15 seconds. That was the end of that. They was threatening
It
us.
lasted
They said every time
15.
we see
Hold on.
y'all, we gonna
It lasted 15 seconds. The videos you've seen so far, did they last 15 seconds? 15. Everything about this, bro. Zion, you just seem like a straight liar to me. I'm gonna be honest, man.
works at brothers, and then they got their ass beat. That's what happened. And then it would last like 15 seconds. That was the end of that. They was threatening us. They said every time we see y'all, we gonna press y'all. Every time we see y'all, we gonna attack y'all. We WFI killers. We gonna kill y'all. We gonna do.
So they're saying that Muslims are harassing them online. We're WFI killers. You know, we this, we that. Real quick, Nicodemus, shout out to you. Can someone find the other time I've featured WFI in the channel? It's been once or twice. I don't know if you can find it. You may not mean to. Once it was a time, a video in Florida. I know we did. There may have been another one. I think I was with K-Dub one time. One of them I know got moved off the channel. So they may have all been removed. Because I was looking for it the other day and I couldn't find it. But if you can, drop that link if you're one of the mods. But you may not be able to find it. So anyways, here we go.
That and the other. Cool. They attacked us first. Why literally in the middle while he teaching the sheep too. And
What sheep? I guess because they're saying there was like one or two guys there listening to them. But just listen to what he's saying. Listen carefully what he's describing the event that we just saw.
And then it would last like 15 seconds. That was the end of that. They was threatening us. They said every time we see y'all, we gonna press y'all. Every time we see y'all, we gonna attack y'all. We WFI killers. We gonna kill y'all. We gonna do this, that, and the other. Cool. They attacked us first. Why literally in the middle while he teaching the sheep too. In the middle while he teaching the sheep. They throw fireworks and spit at a brother. And they threw three fireworks, so everybody ended up scattering already anyway. Because people up here thinking it's gunshots. And then when they see that one guy, the one that was talking the most shit online, he threw that firework and then spat at a brother and then ran. Brothers got active. Like,
hear that? One guy spit and threw a firework. Now, I didn't see him throw a firework when I saw them attack. But hear what he said, brothers got active. So notice he's basically saying, yeah, they spit, they did this, but we went after them first. And I'm going to try to show a video tonight that this proves it.
literally, that's it. And then they all had their crew out there and they all got their ass whipped. Like, that's literally it. It's not.
All of them. All of them. This is a man who says he's doing what the good book says to do. This is a man who says he's a disciple of Christ. This is a man who's supposed to be watching for Israel.
Wasn't seeking no fights. We were literally in the middle of edifying the sheep.
We weren't seeking no fights. And why'd you go out there 3 times in a row? And why'd you have a bigger group? And why'd you go after them first? Because they spat at you.
And then all hell happened to break loose because they did that. And then we end up having to wrap up camp early.
Okay, so
It was brothers out there that was seeking to fight.
hold on, Laurent, hold up, just to summarize.
Right.
So you guys were already out there. You weren't trying to look at the protesters. You were trying to get, like you said, the sheep who be around, who be out and about in the same areas.
Yeah.
One of the guys from your side was talking to one of the, when you say sheep, so people understand, someone who's so-called African American or Hispanic or Native American. You were
Yeah.
talking to that person, and then the dudes that were antagonizing y'all before that day, they had been saying this online prior to that day.
And for
One
the
of them
past weeks
be
been
there.
attacked us. Yeah.
Okay, and then they threw a firecracker or firecrackers at y'all, and one of them spit at y'all, and that's what set it off.
Exactly. Literally, the brother was literally in the middle of reading when all hell broke loose. That's what I'm saying. Like, we wasn't out there like, oh, y'all, fuck Allah. And you don't go, fuck you, no, fuck Allah. And then we just
Now, I have seen the footage myself. He's now apologize in advance for the cursing. He said they're not saying this thing. In the footage, guess what I have them saying? Now, it may have been from the week before. The chronology is a little difficult to tell because there's multiple videos because these protests are happening week after week, and they're clashing with them at different levels week after week. There's literally a clip where WFI is saying death to Allah. Death to Allah. But watch what this guy in WFI says. Look what he says here. He says, we
Literally, the
weren't
brother was
saying
literally
this.
in the middle of reading when all hell broke loose. That's what I'm saying. Like, we wasn't out there like, oh, y'all, fuck Allah. And you don't go, fuck you, no, fuck Allah. And then we just start banging. And they spit at us and we start banging it out. Like, no. We were literally in the middle, brother, literally in the middle of reading the scripture to the sheep. And then
Mhm.
he did that. And it's literally one of the things on video. You'll see.
It's all of 15 seconds. Then I imagine a whole bunch of people started causing a commotion. Then the police came. Then y'all had to pretty much break it up, right?
Yeah, the police broke it up. Nobody went to jail. Well, on our side, I don't know about them, but
And the police knew that you guys had a freedom of religious expression out there, so they didn't,
police,
they understood that you didn't start it, they started it, and then they
yeah,
let y'all go.
they know
And
that
they
WFI Chicago
can't.
being every week. Like they know that already. But they just said they was like to diffuse the situation to restore peace. Can y'all just wrap it up? Because it's too many of them out here for us to tell them to move. So can
Hey,
y'all?
real quick, so they were asking in the chat, were the dudes Muslims?
Yeah, they said they're Muslims.
Okay, they said they were Muslims. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
two
it was
hate
for sure.
groups attacked each other, basically.
G-Con, you already said. He said, so two hate groups attacked each other, basically. Shout out to G-Con. That's my man right there. Gotta rewind that. He says, I didn't hear that the first time I listened to this. So two hate groups attacked each other, basically. G-Con. G-Con. So two hate groups. Listen to the way he says it, too. Listen, that's funny, bro.
Dudes Muslims?
Yeah, they said they're Muslims. Yeah,
Okay, they said they were Muslims. Okay.
yeah,
So two
yeah, it was
hate
for sure.
groups attacked each other, basically.
No, it wasn't. We was attacking anybody. We was minding our
I'm just
business.
saying, yeah. I
No,
mean,
no,
two
no,
hate groups was
no.
fighting each
To
other.
be fair, they started it with them though, LeBron. To
No,
be
I'm just
fair,
saying, but I'm just saying two hate groups.
That's
Just
what
like
I'm saying.
the groups that got into
Okay,
the IS.
Now, Faithful's trying to be fair, so I appreciate what he's trying to do. He's taking the man at his word and repeating what he said, But G-Con's comment is hilarious. Now, I'm going to show that the guy ain't describing it right.
You know
BK with
when you go out
IUIC.
into
I don't know
when
what
you go
I'm calling a hate group. I don't know what group they claim or none of that. They just said they from Palestine and they Muslims, and they did that
Your
shit. Like, I'm not
Ishmael
about
brothers,
to.
your Ishmael brothers came out to get you with the sword.
Bro, I'm not about to.
G-Con, you heard what he said? Them Ishmael brothers came out to get you with swords. Actually, G-Con, it was flagpoles. But still, G-Con is drop dead hilarious. That's from my man. Got to work on some of his theology, though. But his humor is 100% on point.
Attach them to nobody. I don't know them personally. Just like I said, I'm not about to attach them to the protesters. I'm not gonna say, "Oh, we
Man,
got
y'all knew
attacked by."
what was going on, man.
you
Y'all was
know
there last week.
when you go
Okay, so from that, one gets the impression that their side of the story, that WFI's side of the story, is that they were merely minding their business, just reading the Bible by themselves, and some people came out of nowhere and attacked them for practically no reason. However,
Now, Kelvin in, let me catch you up to speed. We are listening to a Hebrew Israelite with the WFI camp who clashed for three weeks in a row with pro-Palestinian supporters in downtown Chicago. That's what we're watching right now. That's what we're listening to. This is on Clubhouse, all right? And it's G-Con and Faithful to God talking to him on Clubhouse. Abu made a video about this, so this is part of his video. Now, Abu is the one talking. Now, he's going to show you the truth behind what really happened here. Grab your popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. Grab your lawn chairs. You ready? Here we
it's
go.
also an allusion to someone taunting or even threatening them over social media, and this happening before Saturday. So there's definitely more of a backstory here.
Yes.
Well, as it turns out, there were rumors that long before Saturday, members of WFI had taunted a Muslim by disrespecting a copy of the Quran right.
What? Are you telling me that the Hebrew Israelite wasn't being exactly truthful about everything that's led up to this. Look at the video on your screen. Ishmael gets annihilated with the word of God. Exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And the Quran gets stepped. Huh. 12,000 views 1 year ago. WFI Chicago. Are you saying, WFI Chicago, that a year ago you stepped on a Quran? No. Same group clashing with the Palestinians.
In front of him, and doing so as he pleaded with them not to do so. And the WFI Chicago channel actually has video of that, right? And that video is brazenly bragging in its title about the Quran getting stepped on. So we're going to take a look at an excerpt from that video, and we're going to pick it up at the 59-minute, 15-second mark. Now, this clip will run for a little less than a minute, but I ask that as you watch this, note how the footage abruptly jumps. There's a jump cut, as if something had been edited out. So with that in mind, here's the...
You hear that? There's a key point, and that's why I had to say WFI lied about this. They lied about it, and they tried to deceive people by editing the footage. So when I first saw this video, I was like, yo, WFI is kind of wild, no doubt. I know they're past. But I respect them. They look brave. They look strong. They look courageous. And I think that they were just reading the Bible, you know, not doing too much. Yeah, they were giving their normal stuff, but they weren't really messing with anybody, and they had to defend themselves. That's the story I was told, and the video footage I initially saw painted that story. But after digging into it deeper and seeing that they had edited their own footage from a year ago as well, I'm like, yo, these dudes are liars, man. They're deceptive and they're liars, and I'm not having it. And honestly, they're violent. They were looking for something and they found something, and now they got footage and now they're in the news. Are you happy, guys? This is what your ministry is?
Clip and fair use.
Upon their mouth, their ears shall be dead.
James was not from Isaac.
They shall lick the dust
that you don't
like a serpent.
They shall what?
They shall lick the dust like a serpent.
What is this man gonna do?
They shall lick the dust like a serpent.
So this is a Muslim TikToker. This is from a year ago. While he's there, and you're going to find out why he's down on the ground. He's not there to lick their boots, which is what they do. While he's down there, they're reading the verse that says, he shall lick the dust like a serpent, which is one of their boot-licking verses. And notice he's got a stick out. These guys love to hit people with sticks. In fact, one of the videos I did on them is called The Cult That Hits People with Sticks, okay? Oh, I remember what video I did with him. It was with David Lynn. Are there any videos on my channel still with David Lynn? That's the one you could look for. Do you know if it's still there? Because I know you said you searched. By the way, shout out to all the mods. Warrior Woman, Andrea, Dinu, Nate. Who else is in the house? I know I'm forgetting somebody. I'm just looking at the ones that I see right in front of me. But there's a different reason he's down on the ground. Now, remember, this is from a year ago, but it's the same camp in Chicago. Watch this carefully.
They shall lick the dust like a serpent. Hand that. Look at this. I'm a slave, right? I am a slave.
Look, I am a slave. He's saying, hey, I'm a slave. He's probably saying he's a slave to Allah because that's how Muslims view themselves. But this is fascinating. This is a time where I'm on the Muslim side. This guy is being humble. He's not causing a problem. He doesn't retaliate when they do get physical with him. I don't agree with his worship of the book in a way, his veneration of it in the way you're going to see. But who do you feel for more as far as ethical behavior when you watch this clip?
You know, to Allah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Don't do that.
Give me Psalm 72 and 11.
Wow.
What's he saying? Wow, don't do that. You don't see it, but notice that's a copy of the Quran. You're going to find out when you watch the edited footage what he's doing.
Do that again. Wow. Astaghfirullah.
Right.
Astaghfirullah.
Give me Psalms
Wow. I'm sorry. Can I take Don't touch. Can I take the Quran from you? Can I take the Quran from you?
Back up.
Hold on. You do not treat my book that way. Please don't treat my book that way. Please don't treat my book that way. No, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
Now, it's true he's filming it, but I'm also glad he's filming it. And notice how he's saying please. Now, notice, like Abu's going to point out, the jump cut. Did you see that? Notice how it's a different angle right now? Watch this.
For this, but I don't want that.
Hey, we don't care.
You should care.
We don't care.
You should care. I care about
What are you not getting, Ishmael?
What I'm saying is this, right?
Okay, did you notice the jump? Did you notice the edit? Did you, as if like a portion had been taken out? I'll play it again, this time with the timestamp briefly on so you can see it jump.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Arrested for this, but I don't want
Hey,
that.
we don't care.
So the WFI Chicago channel on YouTube edited something out of that encounter, right? They took something out of that video. But note that their
WFI, why did you edit the footage? Why did you edit the footage out? When did you edit the footage out? But why? Why did you edit the footage out? You guys are so dishonest, so deceptive. Watch this.
camera was not the only camera out there. The Muslim who was out there pleading with them not to disrespect the book central to his faith also had a camera right there on his phone. And it turns out that he's the guy who runs the popular Way of Life SQ channel.
Way of Life SQ. You can come on if you're able to get a hold of me. Somebody said, who's the guy on the floor? He's a guy who runs a channel called Way of Life SQ. He runs a channel, you can see right there, Way of Life SQ. Yeah, but his specific name is Way of Life SQ, Warrior Woman. Watch this.
And he posted his footage that same night. And I'll share a link to his video in the description. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the footage which that gentleman captured. But before I play the video,
The truth's about to come out, WFI.
permit me to again share that A, this falls under fair use, and B, or second, let me put up the disclaimer that again, I am emphatically not endorsing the actions seen in this video. Now, some might rightly note that it's not just one Westers who disrespect copies of the Quran. Rather, there have also been folks aligned with mainstream Christianity who have likewise done so. Now, that's worth mentioning because I myself am a Christian, so it's, you know, it's like a stones and glass houses kind of thing. So I want to fully acknowledge that, yes, there are also Christians who engage in this behavior. Personally, I would advise anyone, whether Christian or non-Christian, to not sink to such levels of antagonism, whether it be against Muslims or others, right? Try to have a general policy of treating people with respect. And I'm on record expressing appreciation for how the Smile to Jannah account responded to a Christian ripping a page out of a copy of the Quran. And I've also long noted that many modern American Christians maintain considerable respect for disbelieving Jews, and I would think that, at least in the interest of consistency, the same courtesy could be extended to our Muslim friends as well, you know, who are honestly closer to Christians in many ways. But with that, let's now take a look at Way of Life SQ's video of that Muslim man, the host of the channel himself, pleading with the WFI members to not disrespect his book. Some may find this distressing, so viewer discretion is advised and fair use.
Do not do that. Do not step on the Quran. Please do not step on the Quran.
Now remember, the footage you just watched was provided by WFI Chicago about a year ago. We don't know why they're threatening us. This is from the Muslim gentleman's channel. Watch the full story.
Please, 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 please. I'll pay you for it. I'm sorry, please.
They just hit him. You see that? And he apologizes. I'm sorry. He just hit him. Did you see that? Watch this again. He hits him.
Some may find this distressing, so viewer discretion is advised.
Cowards
and fair
and
use.
Do not do that. Do not step on the Quran. Please do not step on the Quran. Please, please.
So there he steps on the Quran.
Please, 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 please. I'll pay.
Look, he's about to hit him. Look, see?
I'm sorry. Please don't step on the Quran. I'll pay it. Can I buy it from you? Please don't do that. I'll buy you Bible, so don't step on the Quran, my friend. Please don't.
This your Quran?
Please.
This your Quran?
Please.
This is what we do to the Quran.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so he throws out into the street. So you would think that's kind of like the end of it. Now, look, I know people in the chat aren't fans of the Islamic religion. I understand that. But just ask yourself about what's happening in general, what's going on, okay? And remember what the WFI guy said on Clubhouse earlier. Put that on call tech. I understand we shouldn't show veneration to a book. It's over. Okay. But just see what's happening. He throws the book into the street. Now, what's going to happen when he goes to get it? One of the guys runs out and pushes him and grabs it. You can't see it because he's holding the camera, but you'll be able to tell. Watch.
No problem. Okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I see it. Whoa.
Give him my book. Now, notice how the book's in the cameraman's hands all of a sudden. Now, who's initiating this? Do you not see Hebrew Israelites of this sort as bullies? What else are they? They threw it. He said, "This is your Quran." He throws it to the street. Now watch what happens. William Stevens, I don't have time for you tonight if you're going to defend this. I don't have time for you tonight. So maybe just don't comment. I don't have time for it. Don't defend bullies. That makes me think you're a bully.
Okay, no problem. No problem. No problem, no problem, no problem, no problem. Okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I see it. Whoa, yo. Please don't do that. Please don't do that to the Quran. I'm asking you, please. Please don't do that. This is going to go viral. Please don't treat my book that way. Please don't let them treat. That's the Quran they did that to. They did that to the Quran.
So what did you see there? And also, don't you, regardless, again, you guys need to put down all your prejudice here. Did WFI Chicago cut out the footage of this? Yes or no? Yes. Did the Clubhouse guy act like we don't know why they've been harassing us? Yes, he did. Now, did he not throw it out there and then go grab it? Yep. And notice, even when he walks back, the guy puts the stick out like he's about to hit him again.
This is going to go viral. Please don't treat my book that way.
More time.
Whoa, why you
See how he comes and grabs it again? You guys understand?
not do that? Do not step on the Quran. Please do not step on the Quran. Please. I'll pay you for it. I'm sorry. Please don't step on the Quran. I'll pay it. Can I buy it from you? Please don't do that. I'll buy you Bible, so don't step on the Quran, my friend. Please don't.
This your Quran?
Please.
This your Quran?
Please.
This is what we do to the Quran.
Okay. No problem. Okay, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, I see it. Whoa, why you, yo. Please don't do that. Please don't do that to the Quran. I'm asking you, please. Please don't do that. This is going to go viral. Please don't treat my book that way. Please don't let them treat. That's the Quran they did that to. They did that to the Quran.
And so, since that unfortunate event, there have apparently been a few Muslims who have been taunting WFI members on Instagram, and they may have also been the ones who were involved in that scuffle last Saturday. So now the question becomes, where does this go from here? My hope is that this won't get any worse. I honestly suspect that cooler heads in the local Muslim community are going to tell any young firebrands amongst them, any young guys who are involved, to let it go, right? As honestly, they've got bigger issues than just these other young men on the street who are acting in a frankly foolish way. Honestly, as a bit of food for thought, one can imagine that if there is another scuffle and it's captured on video from multiple angles, the spectacle of Muslims, especially Muslims with Palestinian flags, assaulting African Americans wearing six-pointed stars, that can easily get twisted in popular media, especially quote-unquote conservative media, right? One can imagine some quote-unquote conservative TV show host, spinning it as Palestinians attacking African American supporters of the state of Israel. And you can even imagine some talking head asking rhetorically something ridiculous like, where's BLM now, right? Where's Black Lives Matter when you need them, or something ridiculous like that. But likewise, the young men in WFI also need to stop antagonizing people on the street. And this isn't just me saying this. I am confident that there are plenty of older men in the larger Israelite spectrum who would advise them to not behave like that, right? This can be chalked up to how with youth often comes a lack of prudence. But if they keep pressing people in this way, life's learning curves can come a lot faster with considerably more difficulty than should have been the case. I think most within the Israelite spectrum get that. But unfortunately, the One West stream has a more rocky history on this question. You see, the founder of One West himself, Edward Meredith Bibbins, who's popularly known as Abba Bivens, he's long been video of that.
What's about to happen here? This is important. William Stevens, I'm timing you out. You're gonna have to cut it out tonight. Okay. They threw the book into the middle of the street, threw it out there, and then said, "This is your Quran." And then when he went to get it, they went and got physical with him. Now, This next part's important and true and historical. I've talked about this, but let me explain to what he's about to show. The founder of One West Hebrew Israelism was a man they call Abba Bivens. That's not his name. His name is Edward Meredith Bibbins. It's not Abba Bivens. It's Edward Meredith Bibbins. All right? Edward Meredith Bibbins is the founder of One West Hebrew Israelism. He left a group of folks following a form of Judaism, and sometimes described as black Jews there, called the Commandment Keepers in Harlem, New York, established in 1919. Around 50 years later or so, Edward Meredith Bibbins left and started his own school, which eventually became the One West School. That's not the name of it in the sense of the official school's name was, it actually went through multiple name changes. Israeli School of Tanakh is one of the names. Israeli School of Torah, whatever. Sometimes I'd be forgetting. Israeli Church of Universal Practical Knowledge later on, not ISUPK, but ICUPK, before the splits in 95, 96. Anyways, the founder apparently was known to street preach in the streets and knock people out. That's the founder of these guys' religion. Now, it's split up into thousands of different factions, right? But he was murdered by Muslims in Jersey. Understand what I'm saying? Listen to this.
Can come a lot faster with considerably more difficulty than should have been the case. You know, I think most within the Israelite spectrum get that. But unfortunately, the One West stream has a more rocky history on this question. You see, the founder of One West himself, Edward Meredith Bibbins, who's popularly known as Abba Bivens, he's long been purported to have been a firebrand himself, who sadly passed away due to injuries suffered in a fight with Muslims in New Jersey back in the early 70s. And aside from that, I remember another story which certain One Westers, old-timers, have trafficked in. And that story posits that years later, maybe even decades after the death of Bibbins, there was a One West camp in Newark, New Jersey, and a local Muslim man who ran a nearby martial arts studio used to stand out on the sidewalk and listen to them, right? And as the story goes, some young member of that One West camp who was speaking got ahead of himself and declared that when God gives them the power, they're not only going to slay quote-unquote Edomites, rather they're also going to slay quote-unquote Jakes who are into Islam. At that point, the Muslim martial artist who was quietly listening responded by asking this question: "What makes you think we're going to wait that long now that your intentions are clear?" And apparently the man said it with such seriousness that it sent a shockwave through the camp, and older men quickly snatched that imprudent young man off of his speaking post. However, to be fair, perhaps it could be said that today a great many One Westers are less brazen and more disciplined, and thus they're less likely to engage in the sort of unfortunate behavior that we just saw. And so perhaps I should mention some of those groups, right, who won't behave like this. You know, it's not the entire One West spectrum. You know, honestly, I think this could be said about more disciplined groups like GOCC, or which is known as a Gathering of Christ Church. So too, I think it could be said about the ICGJC, the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, and especially about IUIC, Israel United in Christ, which is perhaps currently the most disciplined of the One West groups. As for WFI, however, I'm guessing they've been influenced by either GMS or by other groups which descend from GMS. And that group, GMS, Great Millstone, is considerably less disciplined.
All right, so we're talking about different One West groups here. GOCC is a One West group. Abu brings that out. IUSC is a One West group. Abu brings that out. ICGJC is the original One West group. It's the original school with a different name. And GMS is the One West group. And he's going to show how this behavior is similar to GMS stuff. You'll see what I'm saying here in a second. Well, listen carefully to this, okay? This is important stuff.
Considerably more belligerent, and unfortunately, some of the men who descend from them or are influenced by them behave in similar ways. And with that in mind, I'd like to close with a perhaps ironic note relevant to GMS. Admittedly, I'm not the first person to point this out. Rather, I recall others pointing this out in years past. But as I can't seem to find the old videos which made this point, I figured I'd just repeat what others before me have already noted. You see, back in 2008, there was a particularly infamous encounter between GMS and a group of women.
Let me tell you something. When you up under a woman or with a woman, it makes you.
Rastafari, brother. Judgment. As he have judged, judgment.
And in that encounter, a long shouting match ensued between those three women, the GMS camp itself, and then their supporters, you know, the audience out on the sidewalk. And within that group shouting match, the crowd started chanting something which I can't repeat here, but I'll post a link in the video description.
I've seen the video, so I know what he's talking about, by the way.
And in the midst of all that chaos, Tahar offered an incredible observation about what sort of factors he thought might have been emboldening those women.
You know why she's doing that? You know why she's doing that? Because she knows the cops is right around the corner. That's right. She wouldn't do that in Afghanistan. That's my traitor! That's why I came from.
So Tahar said that those women were acting like that because they knew that the cops were right around the corner. And then he declared that they wouldn't do that in Afghanistan. And honestly, that was an incredible test which Tahar was indirectly proposing there. And in the years after that, some started to contrast that declaration with the rather brazen stuff that GMS members and GMS-affiliated camps would say about Islam. And, you know, so there were people who were asking if GMS or those that they influence would do such things in Afghanistan, right? And, you know, there was even a GMS-affiliated camp in Atlanta called Abad Babal. Now, they're not with GMS anymore, but nonetheless, back in 2009, that group was literally standing behind the police while taunting and antagonizing a procession of Shi'i Muslims during Ashura that year, which is in December that year. Now, perhaps the lesson to be drawn from all these stories is that young men who are inspired by GMS or by groups like GMS today should not follow them down this path of needless belligerence, right? It's mostly public theater, but it still has the potential to cause problems that you don't need. And if you're a lower-ranking member who's mixed up in this mess or some related mess, ask yourself if men above you are trying to fundraise off of drama which puts your safety at risk. Food for thought. But on that note, I'll close this video here. As always, I welcome any comments, questions, or criticisms. So feel free to share your thoughts, whether positive or negative. And God bless.
Hopefully you guys understood everything he just said there. Again, if you're with WFI and you want to come on, make it known in the live chat, and I'll give you a link. If you're with AHOS, same thing goes to you. If you're one of the Muslims or protesters involved and you happen to stop by, same thing goes to you. Shout out to the people who came over from Twitter and who also gave a super chat. Fetor Mephitis. Hey, VOCAB. Hey, chat. Come over for Twitter. Thanks for the stream, VOCAB. Well, thank you. And thank you, Carter C. Goodson, for the great verse. That's a great verse, putting it on the screen as well. So, this is so crazy. I'm going to show you something here real quick where you're going to see these dudes throwing stuff and all kinds of other stuff. And then you're going to see them hide behind a protective railing. Just give me a second. I got to line it up here.
Warning. This video contains imagery and audio which some may find disturbing or distressing, and thus which is not suitable for various settings. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Disclaimer. This video is emphatically not an endorsement of the actions shown here. This is only being shared for educational and information to re-upload my content and commentary. As for material derived from other sources, links are provided in the video description and fall under fair use. Greetings. Last Saturday, October 28th, 2023, the Yank photo account on Twitter posted a video which seemed to show...
Now this one you really got to watch. I'm actually going to make it take up the entire screen. Okay, just give me a second because I want you to be able to really see all of this. I've shown this briefly in the show already, but I don't know if you guys could see it. So I'm going to show it now with the sound as well, okay? I want it to take up the entire screen, basically. Let me see if I can get it to do that. May not be able to get it to take up the entire screen, but something close to it. Yeah, something close to it there. Now watch this video very carefully, okay? And we're going to comment on it. This is WFI and AHOS. See the guy in blue? Watch their actions and tell me if it matches the way they described what happened. Pay attention. Ready? Here we go. You see stuff being thrown from the Hebrew Israelite side over the Palestinians? Notice that. What did he do? The guy kick something? What did he do there? Fireworks. See him throw stuff? Picks up the ball. Throwing it. Throwing it. Now, look, I guess you could say it's directed by the cops, but notice the cops are putting them behind this railing here. There you go. Now, all I've really shown you so far is the groups fighting, right? But that's not all you need to see. I want to show you some of the actual content. Okay? So if you've watched so far, and you've just seen this part's going to be different, okay? This is from WF.
Right!
Now watch. Now I'm gonna show my face here in a second, but I want this to be big on the screen. I'm going back, so you got to listen. WFI Chicago's on the mic. Understand? They're saying they want to fight us, but they won't pick up a gun. I'm not sure what he's saying by that. And he says, "Go back to your places." Now, here's the sides that are drawn there on both sides of the street. WFI Chicago is going to go after them first. That's what the video footage shows. Now, you could say they spit at them first, but nonetheless, they go after them physically first. And we've already seen the way they behave towards the one man. So watch this. This is in their own video, WFI Chicago. Watch what they do.
But they don't want to pick up a gun.
Right!
Fight by us, but they don't want to pick up a gun.
Right!
Don't fight by their persons.
Are you watching? Where are the Muslims? Where are the Hebrew Israelites? There's the cops trying to maintain order. Now watch, the Hebrew Israelites are going to leap into action. Watch this.
Don't fight by their persons. Yeah, don't fight by their persons.
There we go.
Look at that. Now they try to act like they were just reading the Bible. Yeah, right.
Hold on.
Now they're going to play their little intro.
With ship! With what? With ship! With what? With ship! How did we get to America? On ships, right? So, did everybody on the earth go into slavery on ships? Who went into slavery on ships, brother?
I'm coming as a thief in the night. What? As a thief in the night.
Thief in the night.
Right.
The Lord is gonna come as a thief in the night, man. Nobody knows when the Lord is gonna come back. Right. Nobody knows.
This the book of wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. For wisdom is more moving than any motion.
Right. The wisdom of the Lord, man. Right. And the
Sorry,
wisdom
it's so
of life
loud.
is more moving than any motion, man. Right. And that's what the Lord has given us to speak to our people, man.
You guys ready?
Right?
Let's
And
watch
that
some
thing is gonna
WF5
move you more
videos
than
now.
anything, man.
See what
Right?
these guys
It's
are
gonna
really
move you
about.
more than damn weed. Right? It's gonna move you more than that damn Hennessy bottle. Right? It's gonna
Oh, I
sit
need
there
to
and move
change
you more than
this.
damn Keisha, Letitia, right? And all these damn heathenistic women, man. Right.
Oh, you're going crazy.
We're gonna read about the judgment of these nations and what's coming to take.
Bring it out.
What you got?
This is the book of Amos, chapter 1 and verse number 6. Bring it out. Thus saith the Lord.
What the Lord say?
Thus saith the Lord.
Read it again.
Thus saith the Lord. For these transgressions of Gaza, and for I will not turn away.
Now notice, they're showing this, but it's switching to their voice, but they switched to drone footage. This isn't their footage, this part.
Punishment thereof. No, the Lord's going to look the other way to the Palestinians. I will not turn away the punishment thereof. The Lord forgot about the sub-Saharan slave trade. I will not turn away the punishment thereof. The Lord forgot about Muhammad killing the Jews with the sword. I will not turn away the punishment thereof. The Lord's not turning away the punishment of these fake Palestinians, man. Of these Ishmaelites, man. The Mosai is coming back for them as well, man. For what they have done to the children of Israel. Because they carried away captives, the whole captivity. Because they carried away the captive, the whole captivity. They carried away captive, the whole captivity. They're not innocent, man. They what you think? Oh man, they're innocent. Play for us. Right? They're treating us just like you were brothers. No, y'all wasn't brothers when y'all was oppressing our people, telling us get the hell out the gas station, man. Right? Y'all wasn't brothers then, man. Right? But guess what? Now the Lord sees what's going on. Go to Amos chapter 9 and verse 10. Read what you got. To deliver them up to Edom, but I will send a fire on the wall of Gaza. The Lord is sending fire on the wall of Gaza, man, right now. Fire is coming down upon them, man. You know? We shall devour the palaces thereof. We shall do what? We shall devour the palaces thereof. And I will cut off the inhabitant from Ashdod. The Most High is going to cut off the Palestinians. In the Bible. The Most High is cutting off Gaza in the Bible. But everybody wants to say, no, pray for the Palestinians, pray for the Ukrainians, pray for these Israelis. We're not praying for none of y'all, man. Pray for the black man. Pray for the Hispanic man. Hey, can one of y'all brothers, is there space? Y'all got space in the car? You gonna hop out? All right, Khan, can one of y'all brothers, Aharon, can you show the brother with the park, Mama Kishan?
Preach, man.
Take a flyer. You got a flyer? Take a flyer. Hey, Elder Ray.
Go to my bed. I got one. Yeah, man. I'm about to go, man.
All right, you got you. You don't get your flyer, okay? Go to Amos 9 to 10.
Book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 10.
Bring it out.
All the sinners of my people.
What did the Lord say?
All the sinners of my people.
Amos 9 to 10, right?
All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the bricks thereof. And I will raise up his ruins.
I will do what?
And I will raise up his ruins.
What is the Lord doing?
And I will raise up his ruins.
The Lord is raising up the tabernacle of David, man. He's raising up the black, Hispanics, and Native Americans to know who they truly are, man. To know what's really going on earth. All our people know right now is NBA and NFL. They don't even know what's going on in the world. They don't even know World War III is kicking off. They too worried about if you take your woman to Waffle House, are you good or not. They just worried about all the wrong things. Blunt smoke. Right, go to but they don't want to pick up a gun.
Watch this. So look, the camera angle here is facing them. They're behind the camera. Now it switches to an angle where they're in front of the camera. That's deception. There was a reason why. Then they switch to where you can't see their camera and they're using some other footage with noise in the background. So we don't know exactly happens, but I think this is where the fight starts off. So watch this. Are you ready?
Is there a God beside me? Is there a God beside me?
Is there a God beside you? All about Shimmy Shah? Yeah, there is no God. What the Lord say?
Yeah, there is no God.
There are multiple gods.
Yeah, there is no God.
There is no God besides Yahweh Shimmy Shah.
Notice how it switches? That's drone footage. That's not their footage. Why are they doing that?
Hey, don't worry about them. They're not going to do anything.
Don't worry about them. They're not going to do anything. But look, it's not. Why isn't it your camera angle anymore, WFI? Huh?
God's not protecting them.
Right.
They want to fight us, but they don't want to pick up a gun.
Right.
They want to fight us, but they don't want to pick up a gun.
Right.
Don't fight the alien forces. Don't fight the alien forces.
See?
Yeah, don't fight the alien forces.
Now watch
Keep on acting like he's smart. Only nigga fun. Talk him on his belly like a snake. And watch how he swirl.
Do you guys understand? So you kind of see, but they're playing with it, so you can't really see. But to me, it looks like the Hebrew Israelites run after them first. And then they play in a bunch of music so you can't hear what's really happening. This is crazy. There's like a lot you can see if you watch. This is insane, man. What are we watching, man? This is what it looked like. This is what was going on in Chicago. Imagine being out there. Hear the fireworks. Now they switch back to their camera angle. There's a lot of protesters. That's a lot. You see their stuff getting thrown across? Clearly that's by the Hebrew Israelites. You see stuff getting thrown over. This is insane, man.
We don't need that. He suffered no man to do them wrong. What the Lord say? He suffered no man to do them wrong. The Lord say? He suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings. He did what? Yea, he reproved kings. He reproved the nations, man. Right. For their sake. Saying, touch not mine anointing. Say what? Touch not mine anointing. Say what? Touch not mine anointing. Say what? Touch not mine anointing. Hey, the Lord said don't touch his anointing, man. All y'all Israelites got nothing but death coming to y'all, man.
All you Israelites got nothing but death coming to y'all.
So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. That's sweet, man. All we're doing is waiting under the tree. Give me the book of Zechariah chapter 10 and verse 5. Bring it out. Zechariah chapter 9 and verse 13. Bring it out. Verse 5. Bring it out. And they shall be as mighty men. As what? As mighty men. As what? As mighty men. As what? As mighty men. Read. Which tread down their enemies. Which do what? Which tread down their enemies. Do what? Which tread down their enemies. Hey, I do 10. Put 10,000 in flight, man. Right. In the mire of the street. In the what? In the mire of the street. You don't give a damn if it's in the middle of the street, on the sidewalk, in the ocean, don't matter, man. Right. In the battle. And they shall fight. And they shall what? And they shall fight. And we shall what? And they shall fight. Read. Because the Lord is with them. Because what? Because the Lord is with them. Because what? Because the Lord is with them. Read. And the riders on horses shall be confounded. And I will strengthen the house of Judah. And I will what? And I will strengthen the house of Judah. And going to do what? And I will strengthen the house of Judah. Read. And I will save the house of Joseph. Read. And we ain't going nowhere. We right here. We right here. We ain't going nowhere, man. We ain't going nowhere. Right here. All right, bring it out, 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 bring it out. Kings chapter 6 and verse number 16. Bring it out. And he answered, fear not. Do what? Fear not. Do what? Fear not. Read. For they that be with us. For what? For they that be with us. For what? For they that be with us. Read. Are more than they that be with them. Hey, it's more of us than it is of them. That's right. We always gonna believe in and stand on in the last days. That's right. We always got more angels with us. That's right. Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes. Do what? Open his eyes. that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses.
Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 63.
Book of Isaiah.
Verse 1. And everything else that I called out, bring that out too.
Isaiah 63 verse 1.
Still Zechariah 9 and 13, man.
Right.
We got the angels around us, and Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh shot with us, man, at all times. Read.
I that speak in righteousness. It's mighty to say.
Doing what?
Mighty to say.
No matter what situation we come up
I'm gonna
against,
skip through some of this, okay?
we in trample, it is anger, man. That's right. You think stuff like that is gonna go unpunished, man? Stuff like that, you come in, you spitting on the prophets of the Lord, man. Right. Hey, the nations in the ancient world. And start at verse 4. Bring your precept out.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 23, and verse 10.
Bring it out.
One man of you shall chase 1,000. One man of you shall chase 1,000.
Put it again.
One man of you shall chase 1,000.
Read it again.
One man of you shall chase 1,000.
Read it again.
One man of you shall chase 1,000.
Read it again.
One man of you shall chase 1,000.
Read it again.
One man of you shall chase 1,000.
Read.
For the Lord your God, he it is that fighteth for you.
Straight like that, man. Hey, how about Shimei Shada one fight for us, man? You see the Christians out here in the face of thousands telling them that they're going to get put to death, man. You see the other nations and these other religions doing the things that the prophets of the Lord do always and always, man. But we going to stand bold as a lion always, man.
That's right. Psalm 64 verse 4.
Bring it up.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter.
He's even saying, you know, they're saying, oh, we're just out there to find the sheep. And he's talking about, we're out here telling the other nations they're going to be put to death.
118 to verse 10. All nations compass me about.
What the Lord say?
All nations compass me about.
What's happening today before?
All nations compass me about.
Read.
But in the name of Yahweh.
But in the what?
But in the name of Yahweh.
But in the what?
But in the name of Yahweh.
Read.
Will I destroy them?
What the Lord say?
Will I destroy them?
What's going to happen?
Will I destroy them?
Read it again.
Will I destroy them?
Read.
They compass me about. Yeah, they compass me about. But in the name of Yahweh, I will destroy them.
Straight like that, man. That's what's coming to all the nations. Bring us up.
Psalm 64 verse 4.
Bring it on! At the what?
At the perfect.
And we the perfect among these nations, man.
Right.
We perfect in the eyes of the Lord among these proud nations, man. They trying to shoot at us, man.
Right.
Whether that be with words, whether that be with fists, whether that be with objects, they try to shoot at the prophets of the Lord. But
Right. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
And do what?
And fear not.
We're not fearing a goddamn thing out here.
They encourage themselves in an evil manner.
Hey, they encourage themselves. Hey, there go them niggas, man. There go them Hebrew Israelites, man. There go them again. Go spit on them, man. They encourage themselves and build themselves up in wickedness, man. But read.
They commune of laying snares privily.
Read.
They say, who shall see them?
Right.
They
read on.
Verse 6. They search for iniquity. They accomplish a diligent search.
They do what?
They accomplish a diligent search.
They try to come up with all type of different ways to come up against the servants of the Lord, man.
So, I mean, the cops, you know, this is the time I've got to commend police officers. Did they not manage to separate them without exacerbating the situation and without, it seems like, hurting anybody? I mean, I do not, by the way, I'm not someone who gives cops the benefit of the doubt. And I don't know all the ins and outs of police work in every way. I admit that. But they did a good job for what I could see of the situation.
But every single one of them is going to always fail, read.
Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Is what?
And the heart is deep.
Read.
But Yahweh shall shoot at them.
But what?
But Yahweh shall shoot at them.
But what?
But Yahweh shall shoot at them.
Read.
With an arrow.
Hey, the Lord is going to shoot at all the nations with an arrow.
Right.
The Lord is going to get up on them, man.
Right.
Hey, all we doing is waiting on the decree of our King, man. And once that happens, it's go time, man. It is what it is. And then that day, ain't no brother going to be able to bleed, man. Ain't no brother going to be able to get hit, man. We're going to be as mighty men amongst our brothers, man.
That's right. Suddenly shall they be wounded.
Suddenly shall what?
Suddenly shall they be wounded.
And these other nations going to come to naught, man. Because that's the latter end of these nations. I would be mad if I was them too, man. If I knew my latter end was going to come to naught.
So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves.
They gonna fall upon themselves in that day, man. Why? Because they chose to come up against the servants of the Lord, man.
Right.
At any point in time, whether it's 2023 or whether it's 223 AD, CD, AB, whatever it is, man.
Not sure about those dates you just gave, though.
Right, bring out the book of Ezekiel chapter 14, 25 and 14. It's in death, destruction, turmoil, everything that you can imagine, man, is coming towards these other nations, man. Right. All our job is to do is keep the commandments and stay patient, man. That's why the Lord said this is the patience of the saints. Right. And it's beautiful, man. If you're not thinking in your mind it's beautiful to deal with this right here, man, you're doing the wrong profession right now. Right. This is what our forefathers went through, man. Right. The things that they had to deal with in the ancient world, man. Right. It's a beautiful thing to go through this in 2023. That's right! Yeah, I called for one. Yeah, in the bathroom. He in the bathroom right now. Right, read again.
Come, verse 17.
In the last days, man,
the great vengeance upon them with serious rebukes.
On the way. Once they get
and they shall know that I am the Lord when I shall lay.
So they called for an ambulance. You know?
My vengeance upon them.
Read. Right, so go to the, bring this up.
It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 9 and verse 13.
Read it out.
And I have bent Judah for me. Fill the boat with Ephraim.
Read.
And raise up thy sons, Osiah.
Do what?
And raise up thy sons. And Yehovah.
And in a peace with them, man. That's all over there, man.
That's right.
And they just wild men, being the wild men that they are upon the face of the earth. Still mad from over 4,000 years ago when they didn't receive a blessing from the Lord, man.
So he thinks he's an Israelite, and the real problem between him and the Ishmaelites is that they got their blessing.
Hey, come, it shall be an everlasting covenant.
It said it shall be an everlasting covenant, and guess what? That's going to be made with the children of Israel, man. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. The true children of Israel, man. Read.
Come with them, and I will place them and multiply them. It will set my sanctuary in the midst of
all these other nations, man, especially the so-called white man, but these other nations not off the hook either. Somebody give me the book of Jeremiah 30 and 15. Read.
Into the possession.
And to go in there and finish the damn job, man. Read.
Before thy people Israel.
Right, hold everything else.
Behold,
execute judgment.
And guess what? That act is going to get put on trial in that day, man. All that is going to get put on trial, man. If these fools don't die from the famine, pestilence, death, the sword, guess what? They're going to die from Yahweh Shem.
That's right. Injustice.
And what? Injustice. But hold that. Give me the book of Isaiah chapter 60 and verse. Covenant, no, man, you're gonna be utterly wasted, man. Right. Disintegrated, and we're gonna make an entire burial ground and say these was what the dumbass Israelites came up against the children of Israel. Right. The sign, and you're gonna take your children there and say, see, these was the Israelites that came up against us. Right. These was the other nations that they think they can get with us, man. You understand? Right, keep reading it on that.
Come, Jeremiah 23 and
hey, that happened already. All praise to the Most High God for it. Who jaws is made of glass, man? Hell, land. That's right. Right, you got little babies over there dying, getting their heads chopped off.
Whoa. This must be the part that Orthodox Moore was talking about. I don't know how I missed this when I watched this. Okay, everyone, listen carefully to what he's about to say. Now, I know you're just coming in. I know this show, I'm watching a lot of video. I just think it's important for you to see a lot of the video that's in the context of the fight. This is after the brawl. I showed you before the brawl. I showed you things that happened about how they explained it. I showed you different angles. There's a lot going on here. Now, this is afterwards. Listen carefully to what WFI Chicago says. Watchman for Israel, there in Chicago, Illinois. Listen carefully to what he says.
That's why they mad, because the Lord God is touching the land. That's right. Right, you got little babies over there dying, getting their heads chopped off.
We need to watch that part again. We need to watch that part again. They're speaking about what happened in Israel, and when he brings it up, they spontaneously erupt into clapping and then do all this. We need to watch that part again. Ready?
God is touching the land. That's right. Scared of no damn Israelites, man. Not at all. You understand? They can't do nothing with the servants of the Lord. Right. You understand? But we hope in that day, man. Right? Bring this up.
Book of Zechariah. It's like it. Book of Amos, chapter 9, verse number 5.
Bring it up!
The Lord Yahweh of hosts is he that touches the land.
What?
Is he that touches the land.
Said, and the Lord God of hosts is he that touches the land, man.
Damn to Allah!
That's really why these Israelites is mad.
That's
man.
right!
That's why they mad, because the Lord God is touching the land.
That's right!
Right, you got little babies over there dying, getting their heads chopped off.
But I will send the fire on the wall of Gaza.
What the Lord say?
But I will send the fire on the wall of Gaza. I will send the fire on the wall of Gaza. I will send the fire on the wall of Gaza. I will send the fire upon the wall of Gaza. I will send the fire upon the wall of Gaza. I will send the fire upon the wall of Gaza.
One more time.
I will send the fire upon the wall of Gaza. Which shall devour? It's like which shall devour the palaces thereof.
It said we shall devour the palaces thereof, man. And that's exactly what's going on over there, man. You got that whole land being turned into a goddamn parking lot, man. And all praises to the Al-Bashir that was shot for it, man. Right, and we glory in that, man. You think they gave a damn when we had our babies getting fed to alligators? You think they gave a damn? You think they was marching in the streets for us? Man. Hell no, they wasn't. So all we gonna do is say, call Allah Al-Bashir, the Lord is with babies dying, man. The Lord is with babies getting thrown around. The Lord is with death and destruction. Give me that in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15.
I'm not sure if you heard what he said there. I'm going to go back a little bit. He says the Lord is with certain acts. Listen carefully to what he says, okay?
And all praises to the Al-Bashir that was shot for it, man. Right, and we glory in that, man. You think they gave a damn when we had our babies getting fed to alligators? You think they gave a damn? You think they was marching in the streets for us? Man. Hell no, they wasn't. So all we gonna do is say, call Allah Al-Bashir, the Lord is with babies dying, man. The Lord is with babies getting thrown around. The Lord is with death and destruction. Give me that in the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 15, and start at verse 3, man.
Bring it out! Verse
Ezekiel chapter 9, and start at verse 3.
Chapter 15, and verse... Bring it out! Verse Samuel 15 and 3. Bring it out! Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all they have, and spare them not.
Did what the Lord say?
And spare them not.
The Lord said, spare them not.
Right.
The Lord, many moons ago, said not to spare these people, man.
Right.
The Lord not showing mercy to the other nations. At all, man. The Lord said, and spare them not, man. Hey, that's Allah. That's Allah. That's Allah. That's Allah. That's Allah. About that weak ass guy.
They have, and spare them not.
And do what?
And spare them not. But slay both men and women.
The Lord said, slay both men and women. Read.
Infant and suckling.
He said what?
Infant and suckling.
No, the children off limits.
Infant and suckling.
Hey, the Lord said kill infant and suckling.
Right.
So the Lord is with that, man. And guess what? When the Lord come back, hey, we gonna be with it, man. Right, we gonna dash the kids against the stone, man. We gonna do those things, man. Right. I'm kind of jealous that the Israelites. Hey, I'm kind of jealous that Amalek over there getting it in early, man. Right. They getting it in early, man. Right. They doing their thing. They kind of throwing the babies around. Right. I'm kind of jealous, man. I watch it with envy, man.
That's right.
I want to do that, man.
That's right.
Yeah, babies with their head open. Right, no limbs. Burnt babies. Right, burnt babies, man. Hey, I want to get in on that. Hey, I want to get on it. Right, when the Lord is seen among us. Right, read.
Us and sheep.
Are you guys listening to this? Are you guys listening to this? Hold on, let me just... Orthodox War, how long does this go? You gotta tell me how long this goes, man. I miss some stuff. Okay. Let's read a couple of verses here about violence. I don't know anything else to do right now. 1 Peter 3:9. Here's what the scripture says in 1 Peter 3:9. Okay, let me read this real quick here. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. On the contrary, repay evil with blessing, because to this you were called, so that you may inherit a blessing. That's what 1 Peter 3:9 says. Do not repay evil with evil or insult with insult. 1 Timothy 3:3, look what it says. This is in relationship to an overseer, so a leader of a congregation of disciples of Christ. Let's start in 3:2. Therefore, overseers must be above reproach, husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not a drunkard, not violent, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. You hear that? It literally says, not violent, but gentle. That's literally what it says. Remember when Cain was going to murder his brother Abel? What did the Lord Yahweh say to him? He said, do what is right. You'll be accepted. But if you don't do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. These gentlemen just expressed that sin is crouching at their door, and they've opened up the door. Haven't they? They have. Hosea 4:2, Yahweh says this. There's only cursing, lying, and murder, stealing, and adultery. They break all bounds, and bloodshed follows bloodshed. That's what they want. Proverbs 3:29 says, do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. This guy is doing that, isn't he? Proverbs 3:31. I'm going to put this on the screen because I want you to remember what he just said, and then I want you to see what Proverbs 3:31 says, okay? This is such a perfect verse for this right here. I'm going to put this on the screen. You need to see what Proverbs 3:31 says. Are you ready? Can I share this with you? I think you'll appreciate this one right here. Just give me 1 second. Let's change the color to, I don't know, I guess, hold on just a second here. What's the best color here? Probably, I don't know, I guess maybe, we'll just go with that. Okay. Now look at Proverbs 3:31 that I've put on the screen. I'm going to make it a little larger here. Think about what he just said. Isn't this the verse of the day? This is a good verse for us Christians. Just look at that and study that and contemplate that and think about what he was just saying. Psalms 11:5 says this, the Lord examines the righteous, but the wicked, those who love violence, he hates with a passion. Psalm 11:5 says, you wicked, the Lord examines you, and if you love violence, the Lord hates you with a passion. WFI Chicago, in your current state, according to Psalm 11:5, the Lord hates you with a passion. That's what the scripture says. You know why? Because you love violence. Now, I could use this verse against Hamas. Remember what he's saying, though? He's jealous of Hamas. Psalm 55:15, Psalm 72:14. Let's go to that one. He will rescue them from oppression and violence, for precious is their blood in his sight. That's the relationship to the innocent. There are so many good verses. Titus 3:2. Don't slander anyone, be peaceable and considerate, always be gentle toward everyone. Mark 7, what does Jesus say? That the real deal is the heart, the inside. For it is from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come. Sexual immorality, theft, murder. Murder. You see that? Genesis 9, death penalty for murder. And yet this guy wants to do it. Are you seeing this? Are you following this? Are you understanding how anti-God this nonsense is? especially Proverbs 3:31. Do not envy the violent or choose any of their ways. That's good. Now, there's so much more to say here. I want to share this with you. I want to watch more video footage. I wish we could. There are some really important things to show you guys. Unfortunately, honestly, we simply don't have time. We're going to have to pick this up. I really appreciate you guys being here with me late tonight. I appreciate the 2 super chats from Righteous Through Christ and Fator. Shout out to y'all.